Mr. Mindy himself, who is playing his wild card, and he does have Cancelo in there. No Trent in there as well, but he does have, is he there 1.5? So the plan is obviously to get Trent in, I suppose.
Yeah, so this is under the working assumption that Trent's out for 3 weeks. So yeah, I've gone double Chelsea, double City defence, and then the plan would be to have Alonso there as my placeholder for Trent. So I've left that at 1.5. I think I might need to have another look at that just to make sure I've left enough money.
You'd be 0.3 short at the moment, but
right.
I think Trent will go down this weekend, so you'd be probably 0.2.
Yeah, so I might need to make some slight tweaks just to make sure I do have an easy way to get Trent back. But that's definitely what I'm leaning to currently. So I've got Ramsdale and Sanchez as my goalkeepers. I was saying earlier that the risk of Leno to Ramsdale does put me off just having 4.5 and 4.0. And I don't think if you're on wildcard, you want to be setting yourself up for a fall like that. I think it's just, it feels like you might be making a transfer waiting to happen. So yeah, but then if I want to make sure I've got enough money to get Trent back, that might be where I have to make the sacrifice. So we'll see. I do think that, as we said, Ramsdale's a great option with the Arsenal fixtures, and with the amount of good defensive options there are, having him as the way into the Arsenal defence over, say, Ben White does definitely appeal. And then to run through the defenders, so Alonso, we've talked about loads of the past couple of weeks. Just Chilwell could come in soon. There's going to be a lot of people looking at the Champions League lineup tonight.
It's
interesting. Oh, actually, would that be out now? Actually, while I'm going through, do you want to just quickly check Chelsea's lineup? So yeah, I've got Alonso for the attacking threat, Rudiger for the nailed-on 90 minutes most weeks. Chelsea's great fixtures. He's kind of an easy option to pick. And then, given how amazing City look and the fixtures they're going to have after this week, I'm planning ahead for their good run with having Diaz and Cancelo both there. While Cancelo's looking amazing, I can see him starting most. I think he'll be a similar sort of role to Rudiger, where it might be like he'll play 7 out of every 8, something like that. And Diaz is just, like we saw last season, he's just nailed on 90 minutes every week in the Premier League, can get his head on it from corners and set pieces. And now that De Bruyne is back, whipping the balls in, I'm sure we'll see the City central defenders. I think Laporte's already had a couple, hasn't he? So
Ake scored as well.
So yeah, that can only be improved with De Bruyne back in contention. And then in the midfield is probably the hardest area to pick. So a lot of this could change. So yeah, this isn't like a wild card reveal. It's definitely there's definitely I'd be amazed if this ends up being the team I go with. There's so much still to learn from the press conferences. But Grealish, I think his stats aren't great, but just the fact that he's playing so regularly, and then the fixtures that you're going to have, I think he is the best option from the City midfield. What are your thoughts on that as a City fan?
Yeah, the weird thing is, like, the stats, chances created and stuff, he is quite high up there, isn't he, in all the chats? But actually watching the 90 minutes, he doesn't look like he's going to score or assist too many. But I was saying to my brother a few days ago, actually, I think all it takes is once he gets a few goals and kind of gets in the positions to score, I think he'll just set the world alight. And FPL, I still think at some point in the season everyone's going to have him. It's just a question of when. I think at 8 million, because obviously that was priced up before his move, wasn't it? That was his Aston Villa price. I don't think he would have been 8 million if he was at City.
Yeah, so I think with my current thinking, I'm thinking I might just take that gamble and think that this next run of fixtures after the Liverpool game will be where he does have that run where he outperforms his price and everyone wants him. And yeah, Salah, obviously Salah's not going anywhere. I did toy with the idea of maybe going for Mane over Salah because I'm going to be captaining Lukaku so much. But yeah, I don't think I am going to. I'm not going to take
I
that
thought I
risk.
thought
That's
you were
all I'll
going to
say.
say De Bruyne. Then obviously you got
No,
three
no, no,
cities.
not De
No.
Bruyne. Then yeah, we talked a lot about Arsenal emerging as great budget options. So Smith Rowe at 5.3, such a good price. Even if he does miss the odd game here or there, I think the way my team's set up with Livramento and
Cancelo,
Gallagher there
Gallagher.
as well, I'll have two solid bench options every week, hopefully. So I can. The way I've set this up is for, if Alonso or Cancelo don't start, I've got, Gallagher or Shaw or Livramento. Sorry, Gallagher or Smith Rowe or Livramento to come off the bench for them. I might rethink that, but I do think that the way it's come about with all these great budget midfielder options, it does sort of lend itself to that. And the formation I'd play with this would be 4-4-2 most weeks, but it could also be a 3-5-2. So I could sort of switch between depending on injuries or whatever form, etc. So the fifth midfield spot is Rafinha. We just spoke quite a lot about him, but yeah, his consistent threat, nailed on when he's fit. It's just that doubt over his fitness and the Brazil stuff is annoying. I'm just thinking about it now. Like there's a few players here where Alonso could feasibly end up out of the team. Cancelo might randomly have a game. I could have a week where say Alonso doesn't start, Zinchenko comes in for Cancelo, Rafinha's needs a week off, and Smith Rowe gets rested. So maybe I don't know. Do you think that maybe there are too many
No,
risks?
I think if you are doing that, I think you've done it right with having two bench. I think I would be reluctant to do that and have. I think Livramento's fixtures now. If Livramento had real tough run of fixtures, then maybe you only have one bench option. But I think he's a feasible playing option with the fixtures that come. So I think you'd be very unlucky to have more than two of these not playing in a week. Obviously, it's happened in the past few weeks with all the injuries, but I think if you set on Alonso Cancelo, I think two playing subs is the way to go at least.
Yeah, and Alonso would eventually go back to Trent. That's the
Yeah.
current thinking. So yeah, that's the
The
plan
only
there with the defenders and midfielders.
the only thing I'll have to say here, obviously, when you talk about your strikers, is just how you would get to another option if it emerges, like Tony or Jimenez, if Jimenez continues to score. If you do want to move money to your strike force.
Yeah, that is probably the area where I'm least flexible in the team. And Tony is someone who I think people will be getting soon. The way that Brentford are playing, they just looked like no matter who they play, they seem to be able to create chances and cause teams problems. So yeah, Tony and his mate as well. Is it Bomo?
Yeah.
I've said so many different pronunciations of that name this week, and I've lost as to what the
Well,
correct one is.
he's only 5.5 in it, so he's an easy one. Just swap Gallagher or Smith Rowe. But yeah, I think it's the striker that you were struggling.
Yeah. The games I've seen of Brentford, it kind of looks to be more that Tony sort of drops a bit deeper and sort of gets involved in the build-up, and Bowman was more in the box. I wonder if he might. It'd be interesting to see which one emerges as like the better option, because the price difference. Like Tony is the better option; he's on pens as well.
Yeah.
But it's that price difference thing. It's like what we were saying between Smith Rowe and Saka. You've got to factor that in. And like Mark from Black Box, I think he's had Mboma since like game week 3, ahead of the curve as normal. But so yeah, there are top managers who've gone for Mboma for that reason. So yeah, it's interesting. That might be an easy way for me to get that 0.2 I need to do the easy swap for Alonso to Trent, maybe swap in Mboma for Gallagher. But yeah, something to think about as we get closer to the deadline. But yeah, the strikers, there's not really much to say. They're locked in. Antonio, Lukaku.
It's just a question if you get another one, isn't it? Yeah,
but yeah, you can't. It's hard to set up a team that's like ready for everything. I think I'm flexible through defense and midfield. And if West Ham start, having a bit of a downturn, or Antonio's never goes through a whole season being fit, so if he whenever he might pick up an injury, and then I go from Antonio to Ivan Toney or Jimenez maybe. So there is that option. It's just hard to see dropping Antonio at the minute, but an injury could force your hand.
Yep, no, good team.